Well, good evening, good evening, good evening to my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening? It's dinner time, so come on in and sit down at the dinner table. You know your brother Tony, he has that good food for the soul for you. So come on, sit down and relax, because I'm sure you're going to enjoy this food for the soul this evening. And go ahead, my brother and sister. Invite some more family men and friends to the dinner table. And if this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk on relationship. I talk on relationship of that between a man and a woman from a biblical point of view. When I say biblical, I strongly believe that God established the relationship of the man and the woman is documented in the book of Genesis when he created Adam and he had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with Eve. Thirdly, God represented the woman to the man Adam, and Adam said to God in reference to the woman, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the type of relationship that I strongly believe in. If you have another point of view or alternative way of a relationship, you have what's called a free will. God did not take the free will from you. You can do whatever you choose to do. But I'm letting you know from my position, I strongly believe in the position from the book of Genesis between that of Adam and Eve, male and female. That's my position. And those of you that may have another point of view, I encourage you still to look to be here at the dinner table and enjoy this food for the soul. You know, it's up to you. Um, and I'm on two different platforms. I'm on the Tube and I'm on the book. Those of you that are on the book, I may make a comment to those that are on the Tube. You may not see their names and comment, but I will call their names and comment every now and then. And vice versa. Those of you on the Tube, I make a comment to those that are on the book. You may you're not gonna hardly see their names and comment, but I will call their names and comment likewise, okay? And with that said, my brother, and with that said, my sister, we're about to get into what we got at this dinner table. And as a matter of fact, my brothers and sisters, this is what we have going on at the dinner table. When you look at the menu, we are going to discuss and get into this topic: why my husband or wife doesn't want to touch me sexually anymore. That's right. That's what we're going to discuss at the dinner table. Why my husband or wife doesn't want to touch me sexually anymore. Don't you know, my brother and sister, this is a, a very troublesome topic that we're going to talk about tonight. There are a lot of marriages, believe it or not, that are going through this type of trauma when it comes in a relationship. Because, my brother and sister, you must realize when you get married, my brother and sister, or due to probably health reason, I mean real serious health reason, my brother and sister, you should consider that physical intimacy in a relationship is very, very, very important. That's why I told you, brothers and sisters, at the beginning of a relationship, when you are getting to learn a man or woman, if you're interested in jumping that hurdle or being in a loving relationship, whereas you'll be serious, commit to the relationship, and then move towards a covenant part, you need to talk about some real strong topics because opposite does not attract, my brother and sister. That's one of the biggest lies when it comes to a relationship. Opposite does not attract, and being unequally yoked doesn't add up either. And remember what I said, my brother. So some of you can't remember this. I said when you're talking to a potential man or woman, when it comes to a relationship, there's some 5 topics that are real crucial to a relationship. And I told you all to remember these letters: FORMS, forms. Forms stand for F, mean do you have, or do you have common uh thoughts on the family unit? That's what F stand for. Or you have to, occupation at work. You got to work in a relationship. As a matter of fact, you got to work to take care of those bills too. And then or could be religion, but we're not talking more about religion. We'll talk about the R could stand for a relationship. Does the man or woman that you are planning on getting married to, is that man or is that woman in a good, solid, deep relationship with God through his son, Jesus Christ? And then I said, money, you need to understand, you need to discuss the thing about money before you say I do, because believe it or not, I'm telling you, my brother and sister, money has a lot to do with a lot of people getting divorced. It's something about that money more so than adultery. And then the final thing I tell you, you brother and sister, you need to discuss the topic sex. Now, sex is not a taboo. A lot of people, they want to skirt around the topic sex, but brother and sister, you have to be mature and talk about sex, because there are some things that you may desire when you get into a relationship with a man or woman when it comes to sex, because you don't want to be far off in the left field. Because if you, I mean, if you're not compatible in that sexual arena, that can really damage your relationship. So at the beginning of a relationship, sex is one thing, brother, and sex is one thing, sister, that you need to discuss. If not, you're going to have a problem. And when you get married, my brother and sister, you got to understand this. Sexual intimacy is a part of the relationship. You cannot play games, brother and sister, with your mate needs, because just like a man and a woman, you need air to breathe, you need food to eat, you need clothing, you need shelter. When you marry, my brother and sister, not only do you supposed to invest 100% into the man or the woman, you got to understand that sex is a very, very important and vital part of the relationship. Don't ever let nobody tell you that sex is not a part of the relationship. Sex is very much of a relationship issue. And let me tell you that, my brother and sister, to avoid your mate stepping out on you, my brother and sister, you need to handle business. Because if you're not handling business, my brother and sister, somebody is going to handle business for you. And this is what we're going to talk about. There are a lot of couples, my brother and sister, that are in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship. What do I mean by covenant? I mean married people. They are in the covenant relationship, but the sexual part of their relationship has decreased a lot, to the point where it's not even happening at all. And so this is what we're talking about at the dinner table tonight. Why my husband, why my wife doesn't want to touch me sexually anymore. Normally, my brothers and normally my sister, a lot of men complain about their wife used to be like the 4th of July. I mean, she was spontaneous and all that kind of stuff. Some men would say, my wife was just like Niagara Fall, but for some reason, she have turned to the ice queen. When I said the ice queen, it's just like wintertime in our house, especially wintertime in the bedroom. And this wintertime is 365 days a year. I know there's a change of season, but my wife, there was some guys said, my wife don't want me to touch her. And they complaining. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister, you would be surprised. I mean, brother and sister, you would be surprised. There are a lot of women that can't believe that their husbands are so unresponsive to their sexual needs. I mean, there are a lot of women, my brother. So let me tell you this. I do a relationship consultation, my brother and sister. And I know by listening to a lot of men and a lot of women, and I'm telling you, one of the biggest things with a lot of women, they say, my husband, they said, brother Tony, my husband do not want me to touch him. And not only does my husband don't want me to touch him, he will not touch me. And so this is what we are going to talk about this evening at the dinner table. My question to you, my brother and sister, if you are in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship, do you not understand, and are you not aware that you, brother, and you, sister, you have to participate in the sexual act for your mate? Those, and let me tell you this, I have said it before, I'm going to say it again. There are majority of the married people. Let's be real serious about it, my brother and sister. Majority of the married people, and we're going to confine this to the United States of America, majority of married people have had physical physical exchange, or when I say physical exchange, let's call it sex. Most married couple have had sex with a soon-to-be husband or wife. Majority of the relationship between a man and a woman, if they got married, majority of them have had sex before I said I do. So let's be realistic. God did not want the man and the woman to have sex with nobody before they got married. But reality say, in our time, in our world, majority of the men have had sexual expression with the woman that they're soon to be called their wife. And a lot of women have had sex with the man that they deem to be the husband. So that's reality. Very few, if any, men and women that get married today are virgins. Most people are not virgin. Either the man have been sexual active with another woman or women, or the woman may have been sexual active with a man or men before she said I do. So let's put that out there. Now let's say that a married couple, they have been fornicating. That's what we're going to call it. It's fornicating, because if you're not married, my brother and sister, it's fornication. Let's be real. So you weren't supposed to be doing it anyway. But you're about to get married, and a lot of time before a man and woman get married, they have been sexual active with one another. They've been doing all kinds of stuff when it comes to sex. But it's something strange, and this is what very strange. A lot of times when a man and woman say I do, they think that the sexual part of the relationship is going to be more intensified when they get married, just like it was before they got married. You understand? But what normally happens when a man or woman say I do, a lot of time a man or woman, they can start taking their mate for granted in different parts of the relationship. And like I said, formed, they start their thoughts change about the family, prior to what they used to say. They used to have common ground on family. The occupational part, they don't want to put in the work. The relationship part, they say that one, they'll say I believe in Jesus, and then when you get married, one, they change. And then the money part, the money start getting funny. Somebody is more of a spender than he or she claimed to be, and one of the savers. So that causes a lot of friction. And the sexual part. So the thing about it, my brother and sister, for a man or woman, if a man and woman are having sexual problems in their relationship, and I talk about a man and woman that are serious, committed in a covenant relationship, there is a reason why a man wife do not want her husband to touch her. Or on the flip side, there is a reason why the wife do not want to touch her husband. And on the flip side, there are some women that will not touch their husband. And some of these women, the husband don't even want to touch them. So what are these reasons? What are these reasons? Now, a lot of men, they will say things like, my wife, she always making up excuses when I want to have sex. She be making up all kinds of excuses. She might say stuff like, I'm tired. You know, heard these kind of lines before, my brother and sister. She would say, like, I'm tired. And then here go the old one, I got a headache. That's a real old line that a lot of women still use to this day. And there are a lot of women, when it comes to the women, a lot of women are trying to put a puzzle together, and the puzzle they're trying to put together, and they are very frustrated. They can't believe, why me? I have heard some of my girlfriends saying, my husband don't want to even have sex no more. I think it's a problem down in that area. He won't get excited. I do all kinds of things that he won't get excited. And they're thinking, and they be saying, well, why other men are attracted to me? Why other men are coming on to me? I would prefer my husband come on to me, but for some reason, it seems like he doesn't care. And these are some things that frustrate some men when it comes to their wives, and there are some things that frustrate the woman when it comes to the husband. The question is, why my husband doesn't want to touch me sexually anymore, or why my wife doesn't want to touch me sexually anymore? What is the root problem? Because there is a problem, my brother and sister, why your mate does not want to be sexual with you. Okay? Now, let's eliminate the health part. Because before we eliminate the health part, sometimes there could be a health reason going on. And if there's a health reason, and brother and sister, before you get married, let's go back to before you get married. If you know, brother, or you know, sister, that there is a health problem prior to you getting married, that's why I tell you, brother and sister, sex is a topic that you need to discuss before you say I do. You cannot avoid it. Brother, if you know you got a strong physical desire for a woman, and sister, you know you got a strong physical desire for a man, and the man or woman that you think you're going to get married to, do not get married to a person. And you know you have a strong sexual desire, do not get married to a person when you know firsthand that that man, sister, cannot perform sexually, or brother, that woman cannot perform sex. Because what you're going to do, you think you can handle it, but you can't handle it. You cannot handle it. If you have a strong sexual impulse or desire, you will not be able to handle it. And what you're going to end up doing, my brother and sister, you're going to end up going out the back door. That's what you're going to do. You're going to end up going out the back door. Now, the first thing you need to do, my brother and sister, when you get into a relationship, you got to address, can he or can she not perform? You got to understand it. You got to get this straight. You got to have that hard discussion. You do not get married. And that's one of the things that goes in a relationship. Do not get married, my brother and sister, until sex is a topic that you talk about. You could talk about other things, but you want to put sex in a taboo area. Don't look at sex as a taboo thing, because my brother and sister, sex was created by God himself. There's nothing nasty about sex. What makes sex per se nasty is when a man and a woman go outside of the boundaries that God himself have created, because God wants a man and a woman to restrain from physical activities until he or she say I do to their mate. So you should restrain from having sex, my brother and sister. But let me tell you this, brother, if you know you have the dysfunction, a physical dysfunction, and you cannot perform before you say I do, you need to bring that to the woman's attention. You need to have that hard discussion. You need to tell the woman that you have a problem. You already know that you got a problem before you say I do. How you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. If you know you got a sexual problem, brother, physical, you need to discuss that with the woman that you're supposed to get married, and let her decide whether or not she want to go that route with you. And the same thing, sister, if you know there's a sexual issue going on with you, you need to discuss that with your soon-to-be husband. Now, let's talk. Now, brother, you got to understand, when a woman need to, now let me tell you something, sister, you need to talk to this man before you get married. If you have been violated by a man prior to your husband, that could be a problem in the sexual arena of the relationship. Because there are a lot of you sisters, you have been physically violated by another man, whether it's a stranger a friend, a so-called friend, or even one of your relatives. You see, sister, what you got to understand, if you have been physically violated by a man, you're going to take it into your other relationship. You could say that you will not do it, but it's going to be in your subconscious. It's going to be into your subconscious until you get it resolved. So, sister, if you have been violated physically, before you get married to a man, you need to get that thing resolved. Because you don't want to get married and go through the motion, but you don't enjoy it. And let me tell you something, sister, whether you believe it or not, men can tell whether you dare or not. They could tell whether you're going through the motion, but a lot of times men don't say nothing. But a lot of times men know a woman be going through the motion and she's not really there. So some women think that a man is a fool, and she think that she can manipulate the man by saying all oohs and ahs and manipulating her vagina walls and all that kind of stuff to cause the man to go ahead and release himself so it could be over. So, sister, I'm telling you, if you have been violated before you get married, you need to have that resolved. And not only that, you need to be straight up with the man. Don't wait till you get married and then you will draw yourself from the man and he trying to figure out why my wife don't want me to touch her. I have physical needs, but why my wife do not want me to touch her? So, sisters, if this is you, you need to have that conversation with the man. You need to go ahead and say, look, I have been physically violated. How you doing, Sister Warner? Welcome to the dinner table. You need to tell him, I have been physically violated. Before you say I do. Do not wait till you get married, then you want to start talking, because that's not going to sit well with the man. Be straight up at the beginning. Whatever happened. And like I said, at the beginning of a relationship, most men and most women have had sex before they said I do. Now, just by you having sex before you said I do, sister, you know whether or not you like being physical that way or not. You know. If you know, sister, before you say I do, and you know that that man is not bringing it to you like you want to, you're going to have a problem getting married, because you think you're going to fix him when you get married. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So some of you sisters, before you have gotten married to a man, some of these guys, they don't go that long. Now, what I'm talking about, I'm not endorsing having sex before marriage. I'm not endorsing that. But also, I'm being a realist and letting you know that we understand that married people, majority of married people have sex before they get married. So let's be real. So, sister, if you have had sex with a man that you engaged to and you about to say I do or whatever, and you know that that man is not pleasing you, what make you think he gonna please you when you get married? What make you think that? Now there are some women, like I tell you, I do relationship counseling for men and women. I do that. Now there are some women that will say, before we got married, it was on and popping. I didn't know what was going on with that man. He was just like a jackrabbit. But when we got married, it just went down. I don't know what happened. It just went down. This man is not showing no interest in sex no more. And I'm wondering, what is it? What is it that I'm doing or not doing? And you see, the first thing, and I have discussed it before, the first thing most women think about when it comes to a man not being able to perform, they think it's have a libido problem. The majority of women that I have counseled would say, he can't perform, Brother Tony. He can't get it up, Brother Tony. And that's the problem. I think he's impotent. Sisters, let me tell you this. Why do the first thing most women say when it appears like their man cannot perform, he's impotent? That's the first thing they want to say. He got a physical problem. He's impotent. Sister Wanda said, is there such a thing as being married in the spirit by God's chosen before after going to the altar? The only way God validate a marriage, Sister Wanda Lee, is when that man and that woman, after they say I do before God, and then they consummate the relationship by having sex. That's actually consummating the relationship. Once that man and woman have sex, that consummate the relationship. You say I do before God, and then like that. I hope I answered that, Sister Wanda. So, my brother, my sister, when you thinking that the man, why do most women think that the man have a physical problem? We got to talk about this topic, sister, before I get to the brothers. Sister, why the first thing women think he got a physical problem? Let me tell you something, sister. It might be true that he have a physical problem. That might be true. It might be true. But then there's another thing. There's some other reason why your husband may not want you to touch him. Now, if you're ready for this conversation, we're going to talk about some of these issues, sister. What some of you sisters don't understand. Let me tell you this. Some husbands probably have had a past with another woman or women. And if they had a sex with another woman or women prior to you, that means that they've been exposed to something, right? And let's say that man was with a particular woman that really turned him out. Then you come along and you just basic. You just basic missionary. Whereas this other woman, she was doing all kinds of theatric tricks for this man. Okay, she was doing all type of theatric trick for the man. So he been exposed to the wild side. So he comes to you, and he might not tell you, but he's doing the apple oranges test. In his mind, he would like for you to be just like that woman or better. That's why God don't want us having sexual relationship before we get married, because it's that apple oranges thing that could come to your mind. So he's looking at the sister. You're not bringing it to him. And then there are some men. We're just talking now. There are some men, sister, that would like for you to be more aggressive when it comes to sex in the marriage. There are some women that they won't deny their husband. That they won't do. They won't deny him. They would do, if he want her, she'll do it. However, sister, you can't be too passive when it comes to sex in a relationship. If you're married, you can't. You got to, don't you know, sister, that the man want to be shown or felt that he's wanted just as much as he wants you? It's some, and then there are some men that marry women, they won't do nothing until the man make the move. So what you think going on in that man's mind, especially when he had a past with another woman that was more aggressive than you? So, sisters, all the time, it's not that the man is impotent. It's some things that going on in his mind about you. And this another thing, sister, what happened to some men. Don't you know, sister, if you having a problem with your husband, if you got problems with your husband, that can affect him wanting to be intimate with you. Now, there are some men, they can have a problem with their wife, but they still going to do that part, okay? But a lot of times, sister, if your husband have a problem with you mentally, that can affect his libido. Because majority of the time, so you got to understand this, in order for a man to get excited about you, he got to have that thought. It takes place in the mind first. He got to have that thought that he wants you, sister, his wife. And when he has that thought, his thought going to lead his body to go through some change where he getting excited and want to touch you. But if he having conflicts with you, he don't want to touch you. You understand? He don't want to touch you. So, sister, the question is, are you and your husband having some type of conflict that is not resolved? Are you doing something that he doesn't like? Because that affects how he look at you. And the worst thing, sister, a lot of you do, this is what a lot of women do. They go tell their girlfriends about their husband. Sister, don't ever go telling your girlfriends about your husband can't perform. You think that your girlfriend ain't saying anything. That's what you think, right? Just to show, if you tell your girlfriend that your husband is not being physical with you, guess what your girlfriend doing? She got a husband, she got a boyfriend. She gonna go tell it. If she don't tell her husband or her guy, especially they have an open relationship, a lot of conversation that you all have, she's gonna discuss with her man. And you don't notice, sister, a lot of time what you discuss with other people or your man, it could have circled around and a little birdie came and dropped a note to your husband and he ain't told you about it. So some of you sisters, your man have heard some stuff that you've been saying about him behind his back. So therefore, you pissed him off. And you pissed him off to the point where he don't want to touch you anymore. You know why he don't want to touch you? Because he can't trust you. That has a bearing on a man wanting to touch his wife too. So don't assume a lot of time that it just he just can't physically perform. And let's talk about something else, sister. And this is some true stuff that we're talking about tonight. Sister, you may have an older down there. You may have an older down there. Some women you can have an older down there, and you so used to your own body, you can't even pick up on your older. Speaking of older, there where some places where I used to work at, especially where there are a whole lot of women, you will hear other women, they will come out the bathroom and they will say something about another woman that had been in the restroom and she got an odor. Looking good, beautiful, fine, and all that kind of stuff, dressed nice, but got an odor. And then there was this one particular lady, she was saying that when a lady came in the bathroom and another lady came in, she'll say, look, that's not me what you smell. So, sisters, are you cleaning yourself down there? Do you have some type of infection? Because the first person that should be able to smell herself is you, sister. If you can't smell yourself, that's an issue. And you guys, you husband, if your wife don't smell too good, you need to tell her. Don't tell her in a bad way. You need to say something like, baby, do you have a issue going on with your body? Because it appears to be a odor. You need to talk to her, but you got to talk to her. You can't talk to her in no abrasive way, brother. You need to talk to your woman if she have an odor. Because it could happen. And sister, I just want you to know it could happen. Sister Sliced, I hope that I pronounced your name right. What if he have issues performing and know it but won't see the doctor? I'm going to talk about that shortly, sister. Sister Gray, and welcome to the dinner table. Sister Gray says, so he projecting his perversion on the woman. Okay. And Sister Grace said, it's like expecting someone to want to be empty, but they're unresolved issues. It is. How you doing, Sister Cheryl? Welcome to the dinner table. Sister Brother Walker, how you doing? Also, Brother Women not being respectful, burping, forwarding, and not taking care of themselves. Hair's not doing, looking crazy. Sister Grace said, men and women have health issues and haven't addressed them, and they need to see a doctor. Men and women have odors from hormonal imbalance and dietary habit. Thank you, brother and sister, for participating and discussing that. Everything you all saying is valid. Everything you're saying is valid. But sister, let me tell you this. It could come down to a physical problem. Brother, if you know that you have a physical problem, whereas you can't get aroused, you need to go to the doctor before you say, I do. If you know you have a physical problem, you need to go to the doctor and say, look, doctor, I cannot get aroused. Like I have said earlier, my brother and sister, and I'm talking about Christian brother and sister, a lot of Christian brothers and sisters, they have sex before they say I do. So it's not just a world thing. Christian women and men, a lot of time they have sex before they say I do. Let's just put it out there. A lot of time they do. But brother, if you know you have a problem getting aroused naturally, you need to go to the doctor and talk to your doctor about it. There are a lot of you guys out there, you may have, for example, you may have a blood pressure problem. If you have a blood pressure problem, don't you know, brother, in order for you to get aroused, blood flow got to go down there to your penis area to help it expand. So, brother, if you got high blood pressure, that could be the problem. And if you have a high blood pressure problem, brother, you need to talk to your doctor. And your doctor, there's some pills out there. It's some pills out there, brothers, that the doctor can prescribe for you to help you. See, brother, the first thing you got to admit, if you know that you got a physical problem, is to admit it to yourself. You got to admit it. You can't be in denial. You got to admit it to yourself. I cannot get aroused no more. And I know that's a pride thing for a lot of men, that you can't get aroused no more, but you got to face it, that you can't get aroused no more. Because let me tell you something, brother, even the brothers up in my age, a lot of brothers, they have that problem. But let me tell you that a lot of young guys, they have a problem getting aroused. Don't think it's an old man thing, sister. A lot of younger guys. Now, there's a lot of women, they be thinking, older women say, well, I need a younger man because they got more stamina. That could be true. But let me tell you this, sister. There are some older guys, some older cats that they be on it. And they can perform. Some women, they can't even keep up with their husband. They can't keep up with their husband. And then there's another factor too, sister. And this no fault of yours, sister, sometimes a woman can have a higher libido than a man. Sister, before you say I do, and you know that you have been sexual active, and you know that you like the road runner. You know you like the road runner. You like to do it. There are some women that would say, it's some women that have told me that they could do it every night. And I'm talking about up in age. There's some women that say, I could do it every night. Some of you sister, if you tell a man you could do that every night, depending on his age, he might like hearing that. But as he advances in age, some men will say, I don't want to do it no every night. Believe it or not, some men would not do it. Let me tell you something, sister and brother. Let me go back into my past. When I was a young buck, I was like 18, 19 years old. And I was in college, and I was working at this particular location, right? And there was this older guy, Mr. Willie. Mr. Willie was around about maybe 45, and he talking to me. He talking to a 19-year-old Tony M. Toomer, right? At that particular time, I knew my body, it was like the ever ready bunny. I know you all know, keep going and going and going. I felt in my body it would keep going and going and going. So Mr. Willie, he talked to me. He said, Tony, he said, when you get married, you're not gonna want a shot of it every night. That's what he used to call sexual activity, my brother says. He said you would not want to have, you would not want to get a shot of it every night. Now he talking to an 18, 19-year-old Tony M. Toomer. And you see, I could not understand at the time. I said, Mr. Willie, no disrespect to you, but I cannot see going to bed with my wife and not getting busy every night. I said, no disrespect, sir, but there's a problem with you because I can't go. I can't see myself getting married to my wife and we're not doing it every night. He said, son, he said, when you get my age, you're going to see what I'm talking about. He said, when you get my age, it's going to be sometimes where you will want to do that with your wife. And he said, going to be sometime you might be tired, your wife might be tired, and y'all just don't want to get busy. No, get a shot of it. I said, I can't see it. I can't see it. But he was talking to an 18, 19-year-old. But as I got older, my brothers, as I got older, my sister, I started understanding that sex is a beautiful thing. It really is. And sex is wonderful if you are in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship, how God wanted to be. But being realistic, no man or woman is going to probably want to have sex every night. Whether you may, I'm talking to you married people. How you doing, cousin Reed? Might not want to have get married, but it's a different how I was thinking when I was 18 and 19 because I was thinking like the Every Ready Bunny. You all have seen the Every Ready Bunny on the commercial with playing those drawings that say he keep going and going and going. And I just could not see being in the bed with my wife every night without doing something. I could not see it. But as I got older, I understood that there was more. Sex is beautiful to me. It's still beautiful to me. But I know that me and my wife, when it comes to that point, we're okay. Okay, that's all I can say. Like far gone, that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's okay. But there are some of you guys that if you have a physical problem and you know that you cannot do it, you got to face it, brother. You got to go to the doctor and you got to say, doctor, I cannot perform sexually. How can you help me? Now it's real bad, brother. If you get married and you knew that you had a physical problem before you got married, and you get married, and your wife want to have sex with you, brother, and you get semi-aroused. Now that's a problem too. You get semi-aroused. You get semi-aroused, brother, whereas you cannot penetrate your wife. And you know, in order to penetrate your wife, brother, you have to be firm, right? Because if you don't be firm and you be semi-firm, you're going to be frustrated because you trying to penetrate your wife, but while you're trying to penetrate your wife, it's bending all over. And when you can't get in her because it's not you're not aroused enough. So what's gonna happen? She wanted to do this and she ready. She like Niagara Falls, she ready. And you can't perform. What you gonna do? She might come off to you this way. What's wrong with you? So let me tell you this. If you come off on your husband like, what's wrong with you? That's the wrong approach. That's the wrong approach. Sister Wanda says there are more to marital love than sex. You're right, it's more to it, but sex is very important. Sex is important to the relationship. It's very important. Some people want to say that it's not important. It is important. If one want to do it and one doesn't, it is important. But that's not the majority. But the topic that we're talking about tonight is why my husband or why it doesn't want to touch me sexually. That's why we're talking about this. But anyway, my brother and sister, brother, if you have a problem, go to your doctor and see what's going on with you. There are some pills out there. In worst scenario, they may have to do a little minor incision and put a tube down there, and a tool TOOL down there to help you out. You don't want to get to that part. Hopefully you don't get to that part, brother. But if you can identify you have a problem, you need to do it. You need to do it. So now, like I said earlier, those of you that came in late earlier, I said a lot of men complain that how their wife used to be, like the 4th of July. And now she's like the ice queen, in it's wintertime, 365 days a year. He's wondering what's going on with her. She, like I always say, I'm going to keep saying this. Most married people have had sex with each other before they got married. She used to be real into it. Even though it was wrong, she was real into it. But when she got married, she started pulling back. Why is she pulling back? Sister, if you were doing a certain thing before you said I do, don't you know you got to do it and increase? You don't get married and then try to pull the plug. You don't do that. You shouldn't have done it before. Okay, you shouldn't have done it before. But you did it, so he expected more out of you. Now, there are some brothers, and the women saying, called majority of the people that majority of the people that I counsel are female. And like I stated, that some men, they say that my wife used to be like the 4th of July, but now she's the ice queen. Okay, now the women. Some women, they are very, very surprised. Brother, you will be very, very surprised with a lot of women I'm talking about. You will be surprised that a lot of women, they can't believe that their husbands are so unresponsive to their sexual needs. There are some women that are faithful women, and they just want to have sexual relationship with their husband. But the husband does not want to touch him. Now, some of you guys, if you have 2 and 3 jobs, you got 2 and 3 jobs, and you on the run, you ain't getting much rest because you were trying to get, and I have said it before, you were trying to get that house on the other side of town to please your wife. Before you did that, you had time to be with your wife. You had energy, but you allowed your wife to pester you about getting that big house to impress other people on the other side of town. That was your decision. You allowed your wife to talk to you, because some wives will do it, not all. But brother, you made that decision to go beyond your pocket and try to get this house. So now, not only are you not home that much, you had to pick up another job or 2 to pay that mortgage. When you got the house, you already knew that it was going to be a problem financially, because you knew you was not going to have a lot of energy because you working on the outside. Some of you guys, you be at work more than you be at home. And when you do be at home, you go there just to go to sleep and eat. And then you go on to work and you think you're doing something. You depriving yourself. First of all, you depriving yourself of your relationship with God. You depriving yourself of your wife, being, having that quality time with your wife. And if you got children, little Johnny or little Becky, you deprive them because you can't go to little Johnny football games. You can't go to Becky recital. You can't do that. So by you trying to please your wife and you going beyond your means, now you stuck. There are some of you guys, you stuck. You got this big mortgage trying to impress people. She was happy at first. Your wife was happy. She wanted to tell all her girlfriends, her family, look at us. We the Jefferson. We moving on up to a house on the other side of town. We are the Jefferson. You George and I'm Wheezy. But you not George Jefferson, brother. And your wife ain't Wheezy. So you move to the other side of town, right? To that deluxe house on the other side of town. Now you working all those hours. Then you come home and your wife mouth out of this. And you said, what's wrong, baby? I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Why are you not happy? Because you don't spend enough time with me. You used to spend time with me. That's what you're going to hear. Then you know what you're going to tell her brother? We moved in. I got this house for you. Listen to what you just told her. I got this house for you. You didn't say we. You said you. That's what you did. You were trying to make her happy. Let me tell you something, brother. You cannot make your wife happy. She got to be happy within herself. You can't make her happy. You can contribute to her rejoicing, but you started out wrong when you said that. You know you were going above your means, which took you away from your wife. And there's a story that some of you have heard before. I'm going to tell you again. There's this lady I know that I knew. She's deceased now. Her and her husband were deceased. They got married. They got into this situation. This man had 3 to 4 jobs. He come home. She want to express her desire to her husband. She said he really couldn't even go. Some of you sisters be talking about the 2-minute thing. She said this guy he couldn't even reach the 1-minute mark. And she said he get up on top of her, let it go, and it's over. And then he turn over and go to sleep, leaving her frustrated. So what did she do? This is what she did. She said that she was not going to leave her husband. This is what she said. I'm not leaving my husband because he's a good husband. Listen to what she's saying. He's a good husband. He's a good father. He's a good provider. But we got a problem sexually. He cannot fulfill my needs. So you know what she did? She got a side dude. She got a side dude to take care of her needs. She said she wasn't leaving her husband. And let me tell you this, my brother and sister, right now as we speak, there are a lot of women. Now, there's some guys that got some side women. We ain't talking about the men right now. We talk about some of these women. There are a lot of married women. They say that they got a good husband. They love where they live at, but they got a side dude. A lot of women just going on the outside. Brother, some of your wives may be going on the outside just to get some medicine because you're not giving them all their medicine. They're not intending on leaving the house, but they have actually left the home because they're taking their body, your body, because you know when you get married, the man and the wife, your body is one, right? So they're taking their body and giving it to another man. But you paying the house note. You're doing everything, right? She said you're a good husband. You're a good father. You're a good provider. She not intending on leaving you because she like that. And more than likely, the man that she's dealing with, he's not going to do all those things that you have done, brother, but you put yourself in a bind. So I'm telling you tonight, brother, if you are trying to satisfy your wife and move to that big penthouse or something on the other side of town and you know you can't afford it, don't do it. Don't do it. Because if you got a relationship with God, you're gonna be taking your time from God. You're gonna be taking your time from your mama and your children. Don't do it. You need to talk to your wife and say, look, if I do this, this is what's gonna happen. And she might say, I will help get another job. I would do this. Don't believe all that stuff. Don't believe the hype. Why are you going to get something and you can't enjoy it? This is what I could not understand. Why would you get something, a house, and you working And you ain't hardly spending no time in your house. And you see, years are going by and you working, and you ain't spend that much time at home. It's supposed to be a home with your wife. So now she's lacking. And that's what a lot of women do. Like when you go to work, the side dude might come to your house to help you out. Or she would go and meet the side dude and come home. A lot of that happening, my brothers. A lot of that happening. And let's turn this around. Sister, let me tell you this. Your husband come to you because he needs you sexually, right? But you coming up with excuses like you too tired. Or the classic, I got a headache. You dress where you dressing in a way where you won't turn your husband on. You trying to dress unattractive. When you first met him, in the early days of the marriage, you was attractive. But now you trying to wait till he go to sleep before you get in the bed. You will wait, you will act like you cleaning up because you want him to go to sleep. Then when he goes to that, when you want to get in the bed. And then when you do get in the bed, because you thought he was asleep, and then he reach over to you and try to get a little friendly, and then you be doing all this. Don't you know he know that you're resisting him? He know it. Now, some men, they would take you resisting as long as they could do their part. And the worst thing, or one of the worst thing a lot of our relationship get down to these days, my brother and sister, is the man and woman become roommates. That eventually start happening. How the cost of living out there, a lot of men and women, they just reduce themselves down to roommates for financial reasons. That's about it, financial reason. He might even go to another bedroom. She may go to another bedroom, or they might sleep in the same bed, no action. And then it could get to the point where they get action. The man getting action from another woman on the outside, and the woman getting action from the outside, and they don't talk about it. They have a suspicion that it's going on, but that's something that they don't talk about. Long as you don't bring it home. That's the philosophy of a lot of them. Long as you don't bring that mess home. You do whatever you want to do out there, but don't bring it home. You're going to bring it home. You know why? Because when your sister, when you go out there be with another man and you have sex with him other than your husband, guess what you're doing? You forming a soul tie with that other man on the outside. Brother, when you go on the outside and have sex with another woman, you're forming a soul tie. So, brother, not only are you are married to your wife, you married to another woman because you having sex with her. So you're married. You see, some people think you got to go get a license and all that kind of stuff with the outside people. No. Let me tell you what Paul said. Paul addressed this in the Bible. Paul said this about the body. He said the body is the temple of the Lord. That means if your body temple, that means the Lord come and live inside of your body. And Paul said your body is the temple of the Lord. Now, why would I give my body to a harlot? What is a harlot? A prostitute. So Paul said, my body, your body is like a temple. Why would I go give my body to a harlot? Now, a harlot being a prostitute, he just uses it as an illustration. And he said, don't you know that when a man and woman get together, they become one? So my brother and sister, listen to this. If you're married and you have sex with somebody else, brother, if you have sex with another woman, that's just like your another wife. But honey, at home, she don't like that. And sister, when you go out there and have sex with another man, you his wife, and your husband, he really ain't no problem want to have to deal with that call. When it comes to infidelity, as we know it, that little cute word, infidelity or affair, it's not no infidelity, it's not an affair, it's called adultery. You bringing problems home. Now, let's see what the Bible says about this. I have said it before, and the Bible addressed this. For you brothers and sisters that take the sexual part of relationship lightly. Let's let Paul go on to address this for us. Paul said, as it is written in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, 3 through 5. Again, it's 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, 3 through 5. It is written, the husband should fulfill his marital duties to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her body, but yield it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his body, but yield it to his wife. Do not deprive each other except perhaps by mutual consent. You have to make that agreement, and for a time, so that you can devote yourself to prayer. That's the only thing for prayer. And then it said, then come together again so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Now, this is what Paul said, but we have common sense. If a woman is on her menstrual cycle, we know you're supposed to like let her go through her little purification thing, okay? But if it's not that issue, brother and sister, you got to understand, when you get married, brother, to that woman, sister, when you get married to that man, the body that you came in, it's not your body anymore. Yes, you living in the body, but it's not your body no more, called you are one. And the husband, you got to fulfill your marital duty to your wife. If your wife want to get busy, brother, you need to have energy so you can be available for your wife. And then it said, likewise, the wife to her husband. Sister, if your husband wants to get busy with you, you need to have the energy for your husband. What does this mean? That means you, brother and sister, you got to think about this thing. You know it's a part of marriage. And if it's a part of marriage, you got to come correct and make sure you're available for your spouse. And then it say the wife does not have authority over her own body, but yield it to her husband. So what that's saying, sister, the body that you live in is your husband's body. And then it goes back to the flip side and say the same way husband does not have authority over his body, yet yield to his wife. Some of you, brother, your wife's body, your body is your wife's body. So I have heard some women say, I tried to touch my husband down there, but he moved my hand out the way. Bro, you don't supposed to move your wife's hand out the way if she want to touch you down there or wherever she want to touch you. And sister, the same thing. If she want to touch you, you don't want to be slapping his hand and stuff like that. Don't you know that's a form of rejection? And when you do, and when you cause your mate to feel that he or she is rejected, he or she might just pull back. And when they pull back, that might be the last put. They might put up with it 1 or 2 times, but your mate going to get tired, whether it's a man or woman, being rejected. And when a man and woman be rejected, that's when they normally go on the outside. Now, and I'm saying that, now, and I need to tell you, brother and sister, this too. Men and women that are in good relationships, sometimes they still go outside. Now, some of you saying, why would a man and woman in a good relationship go out? It happens because it's called sin. It's called not only sin, it's a part of sin, which is called lust. So a man could have a good wife and still go out there and be with another woman. A woman could have a good husband and go out there and be with another man. Why my husband and wife doesn't want to touch me sexually anymore? You have to have that discussion. So my brother and sister, if you are having a problem, if you don't handle it, the Bible say, then come together again so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Listen to this 2 more times. Then come together again so Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. 1 more time. Then come together so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister. If you defrauding your husband, sister, or brother, if you defrauding your wife and they got that sexual urge, if you keep doing that to them, guess who's watching you? Satan. Satan going to bring one of his daughters or his sons to help you out. Do you think it's just a coincidence, brothers, that your wife out there and she among a lot of wolves and they just want your wife body. They probably don't really want her, but they want her body. So she going out there among wolves, and you're not doing what you're not getting her to feel that she's the one. She's a woman. Women are what? Emotional. And one of those guys gonna come with some good talk line. And then the next thing you know, your wife gonna start spending time with her. And the same thing, sister. Men are look at love and respect. If you keep beating your husband down, and then this woman come out there and she be very supportive because you're not supportive of your husband. But this other woman, she very supportive. And guess what? Since she supported, he started gonna give attention to this other woman. And then that's when a lot of times sex things come to play, and it make the relationship more complex. Whereas, my brother and sister, if you have a problem, a sexual problem, you need to sit down and have that hard talk. You need to have a one-on-one talk. You need to pray to God, my brother. You need to pray to God, my sister, to lead you how to discuss this topic with your mate. You have this talk. Be honest. And tell your mate what is going on so both of you all can help resolve it. Just be honest with your mate. What is the issue? Because there's an issue. Don't act like it's not no issue. Don't act like that big elephant is not in the room. Because you're going to end up being roommates, or you're going to end up getting a divorce because somebody is lacking. Somebody is lacking. So my brother said, that's why I said at the beginning of the relationship, you need to discuss that topic of sex. And I said sex is a part of the forms, FORMS. I told you, brother and sister, several times before you get into a relationship, you need to have that conversation, FORMS, form. You need to talk about the family, your idea on the family, that's F. You need to talk O, occupation. You got to work in a relationship. As a matter of fact, you got to literally work to take care of your bill. And then it gets to the R, relationship. You need to have a relationship with Jesus, God's son Jesus, which is very important. You need to talk about the money. Do somebody spend the money? Do someone like to save money? Because like I said, money is a big problem when it comes to relationship. Money will get people that go to the divorce court quicker than adultery. And then S, sex. You need to talk about sex. You need to have it's not. Don't let that be a taboo subject. You have to tackle it on. I put it this way. If I had an issue like that with my wife, I'm not putting myself on no pedestal, but if I had an issue, I would have to, we're going to have a talk about it. I do not want to approach my wife and go halfway. And I know she won't want me to go halfway with her. I would not want to do that. Why? Because you see, this is what some men do. You know you're not getting firm enough, right? So you trying to, and in order to enter your wife, you have to be firm. And to be firm, that's how you going in. But if you semi-firm, brother, when you trying to enter into your woman, you're not going to be able to do it. All you're going to do is be bending, and then you're going to get frustrated. And not only are you going to be frustrated, you're going to be frustrated and you're going to be embarrassed. And what the woman going to do? She's going to be frustrated because she could be ready. She's going to get frustrated and she's not going to keep letting you do it. That's why some of you guys, we mature here, right? That's why some of you guys, when it comes to your wife, the only thing you want to do is have oral stimulation with her. You know why a lot of you brothers want to have oral stimulation with your woman? Because you know you can't do the other part. And you're trying to cover up instead of having that talk. Don't you know, brother, a lot of time when you're doing that oral part with your woman, you just start on the fire. You start on the fire. You doing that oral part, and then she want you to close it out. But some of you brothers, you think if I just do this good enough, that's gonna make it all right. You start on the fire, and you see you can't keep doing your wife like that because you start a fire. She's gonna call a fireman to put the fire out. That's human. That's human. And sister, if you just half stepping with your husband on some things, and if your husband asking you to do some things, Let me tell you this, my brother and sister. Oral and all other type of activities in your marriage. Let's say, brother and sister, you have a healthy sex life, okay, with your spouse. Why would you go to your preacher and ask your preacher, is it okay if me and my wife, me and my husband do this? Why are you going to your preacher, asking your preacher for permission what you going to do in your bedroom? You do not have to go to your preacher to let your preacher say what you can or cannot do in your bedroom. You, brother, and you, sister, you're married. You're supposed to do what it takes in your bedroom to please your mate. Your preacher does not call the shot in your bedroom because you are one. Brother, you trying to please your woman how she needs to be pleased. You understand? And sister, you're pleasing your husband how he needs to be pleased. You ain't got to be. Let me ask you this, my brother and sister. Do you get down on your knees and pray before you have sex with your mate? Do you do that? I put it this way, brothers. You know, a lot of time before you get to that stuff, a lot of time, not all the time, your woman might say, let me go to the bathroom first. You know, a lot of time they might say, let me go to the bathroom first, right? Okay, you be all charged up and ready for your wife, right? You be all charged and ready for your wife. She come out the bathroom holding the Bible. What would you think, brother, if your wife go in the bathroom, she come out with the Bible, she said, let's pray first about this. You don't think about Jesus 24/7, 7 days a week, brother. And your wife, sister, you don't think about Jesus 24/7. You got other things on your mind. Who here that's married? Raise your hand. If you're married, do you get on your knees and pray right before you have sex with your husband or wife? We want to know who you are. We want to know how you do it. You married couple, we want to know which one of you said, let's get down on our knees and pray. And you pray, then you say, okay, we can do this now. Don't you know, brother, don't you know, sister, the Lord understand that you are husband and wife. He's there. He already know what you're gonna do. As a matter of fact, the Lord is in you, brother, and he's in you, sister. He already know. He already know. He don't want you to, he wants you to go ahead and take care of business. Come on now, brother. Come on now, sister. Sister Wanda said no. And Sister Flo laughing. Don't do it, brother. Don't do it, sister. Come on, have a little common sense. That's why I tell you, brother and sister, don't go out doing it. Sisters, if you have a sexual problem with your husband, do not go discuss it with your girlfriends. Brother, if you have a sexual problem with your wife, don't go discuss it with your guy friend. Don't discuss it with no one outside of your walls. You discuss it with the Lord and you discuss it with your husband or your wife. And if you can't get it resolved, you go to a godly counselor, not just a counselor, but a godly counselor, and let him or her try to use biblical precept to help you. Don't discuss your sexual problem with other people. Because let me tell you, dear brother, if you discuss your sexual problem with your guy friend, if you tell your guy friend, Sister Flo said, God already know, amen. Brother, if you go talk to your guy friends about you can't bring it to your wife, you got some of your guy friends that looking at your wife, which you don't know, right? So while you're at work, cause your boy, they know that you are at work. Your boys may be in the neighborhood and act like they come to see you, but they actually come to see your wife. And they may just get her at the right time. Might just get her at the right time. And the same thing, sister, do not go telling your girlfriend about the sexual problem you have with your husband. You tell them that he's a good provider and everything. You tell your girlfriend, and you just don't know. One of your girlfriends may like your husband and want your husband for herself. So a lot of you all be setting yourself up for the okie doke. A lot of you, and you don't realize this right here, getting a whole bunch of married people in trouble because you talk too much. That's supposed to be like if I had a problem. How you doing, cousin Patricia? If I had a problem with my wife, you think I'm going to discuss that with my guy friend? No way. Am I going to discuss that with my family? No. I ain't discussing with nobody but my wife and the Lord. And if we need godly counsel, that's the route we're going. But I'm not going to discuss it with no guy friends, no females, nobody. And let me tell you something, some of you brothers and sisters, some of you brothers that got work wives and some of you sisters that got work husbands, you telling them everything. And you got a female wolf brother that you talking to, and sister, you got a male wolf that you talking to. Now they see that you got a need. And they're going to fulfill that need that your husband is not fulfilling or your wife not fulfilling. You got some good people that want to, like Betty Wright had this song, The Clean Up Man. The Clean Up Woman. There's some clean up women, sisters. There's some clean up women. And like Joe, and some of you guys, y'all heard this guy named Joe. He want to know what turns you on. You all heard this thing named Joe. He want to do what your man won't do. So you got some Joes out there and you got some Betty Wrights out there that want to come in and help you out. Don't make it easy for the devil, because just like the Bible say, then come together so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. How you doing, DC? Welcome to the dinner table. Don't do it. Because what you going to do? What you going to do, brother? What you going to do, sister, if you're not doing your part and you healthy? And some of you brothers and sisters, y'all be playing games with sex. I'm talking about some of you married people. Since my husband won't do this, I'm not going to give him nothing. Since my wife won't do nothing, I'm not going to give her nothing. So you're playing games. So you think because you shut down business, you don't think somebody else will help you with your business. Keep playing right there. And then one of the most dangerous part, before I close this out, the most dangerous part when y'all become roommates, because you all just stand together just because of bills. That's all y'all doing. Stand together just because of bills. Brother Walker said, unfortunately, some women weaponize sex and use it to control husband. Will withhold sex and drive husband away. That's right, Brother Walker. Sister, you cannot be playing those games with your husband. You know what the Bible says again in 1 Corinthians 7, 3-5 says, husband should fulfill his marital duties to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, yield it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his wife, over his own body, but yield to his wife. Do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent and for time, so that you devote yourself to prayer. Paul addressed this. Now, let me tell you something, my brother and sister. This was a problem way back there when Paul. Why would Paul address this? Because it was a problem then. There's nothing new under the sun, my brother and sister. Nothing new. You better wise up. So if you don't do your part, my brother and sister, and your mate step out, and you're going to ask them why you do it, and then you know what they're going to do? They're going to flip it on you. They're going to gaslight you and say what you did and what you didn't do. And you're going to still get angry because you were playing games. You did not try to resolve the problem. So that's why it coming to your home. If your mate gonna step out on you, brother, or if your mate gonna step out on you, sister, still do your part. How you doing, Jay Chickman, Cheema? Welcome to the dinner table. You better take care of business, because you don't, someone else will. Let me tell you something, brother. If those of you, brother, that got attractive wives, you better boost your woman up. You better talk nice to her and tell her how nice she look and do the things to help out. Because if you withdraw affection from your wife, there's other guys out there that they're gonna tell your wife things that she was looking for you to do. And the same thing, sister, if you're not respecting your husband and supporting him, there's other women out there that's going to be doing it. When you get married, my brother and sister, guess what? When you get married, you don't become blind. You don't become blind. You still can see. Let me tell you all this. Some of you have heard it before, but you got to hear it again. My wife and I, we went to Miami maybe 3 years ago. We went to Miami and we were staying in this hotel, nice hotel. So we came out because we were about to go to the function, but we were waiting for an Uber to come pick us up, right? So we standing out there in the front. And in Florida, it's a whole bunch of women there. I don't know whether it's real or not real, but it looked real. When you go in Miami, my brother and sister, brothers and sisters, you need to know this fact. There are some very, if you're a man, there's some very attractive women down there. Now, I'm not telling you married guy to go down there and look at no other women or vice versa. There's some men down there too that got their stuff together, but we're talking from the male perspective. There are some women down there, you don't know what they walk around with, real or not, but it could look appealing. Okay, my wife and I, we're downstairs waiting for this Uber. I'm standing here looking straight ahead. Cinderella, Hidden Treasure said, I live in my ear. Everybody have BBL. Okay, all right, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm standing here looking straight ahead. My wife, that one right there, Cinderella. Jay Chibman said, Playland, careful. You're right. Cinderella, she was standing right on my left-hand side. Okay, this Floridian, if I pronounce it right, this Floridian lady, she was coming from my right side. And moving objects get attention. Okay, moving objects get attention. So she coming this way. My wife standing here. She coming. And I'm looking straight ahead. So the woman came and she passed. She was walking real slow in front of me first. Then she passed by Cinderella. And I'm still looking straight ahead. You know what Cinderella did? I'm standing right here. Cinderella said, Tony, did you see that woman? I said, what you talking about? She said, Tony, did you see that woman? I said, what? She said, she got a big butt, don't she, Tony? Don't she got a big butt? I said, if you say so. Anyway, my brothers and sisters, I enjoyed you all coming to the dinner table. I really did. If you have any question or comment, you could put it down there in the box. Just put wait, formulate your question or comment, and I will wait to address it. If you don't, I really enjoyed you all being at the dinner table tonight. Hopefully, I gave you some good food for the soul so you can know. If you have a sexual problem, my brother and sister, look at cousin Patricia, she laughing on this. If you have any comments or suggestions, my brother and sister, bring it to the dinner table and we can discuss this as a family, okay? I really enjoy it. I really, really enjoy being here with you, brother and sister. You just don't know. After my relationship with God, Cinderella, and family, you are my family. I enjoy being here with you all so much, my brother and sister. I really do. And I hope that you take some of the good food for the soul, put it in the refrigerator, and warm that baby up in the microwave and share it with other family members and friends, okay? I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. Remember this. Believe this. Say la vie. Peace out. Good night.